Somebody's pipe dream is about to come true. It's the skills competition with the most drip.
Oh my God. I got the heart of a champion.
The Service Titan Elite Trades Championship Series was created to celebrate some of America's unsung heroes, the men and women of the trades. Here, HVAC technicians, plumbers, and more prove themselves in a series of grueling challenges designed to test their technical abilities, industry knowledge, and physical stamina. Only the best will walk away with some cold, hard cash and the title of champion. Tonight, 5 of the country's top plumbers are taking center stage at the Palm Beach County Convention Center in West Palm Beach, Florida. This is the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. Hi everybody, welcome on in to the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. I'm your host, Joel Godet. I'm joined by master contractor and plumbing expert, Scott Karen.
Joel, I am pumped up to be here today. Looking forward to seeing this competition.
Scott, this is year 3 of this competition, and our 2-time defending champion, Craig Childress, did not qualify, which means we will have a new champion crowned, and I, for one, can't wait to see who steps up. Because we had thousands attempt to qualify, but only 5 made it down here to West Palm Beach. And by the end of the night, the best of the best will be named national champion, and they're walking away with $10,000. Here's a look at our plumbers. First out, we have Timothy Quick from Williams Bay, Wisconsin. He returns to West Palm Beach with one thing in mind: redemption. Tim's here to turn 35 years of experience in the trade into a national title. Next up from Madeira, California, is Ian Edelbacher. He may only be 4 years into his career, but his apprenticeship training is fresh, and he could have an advantage because of that in this competition. From Gallatin, Tennessee, is Carl Glenn. He may be a newcomer to the competition, but Carl's no stranger to the plumbing trade with 14 years of experience under his belt. Here's Evan Klein from Frederick, Maryland. From working alongside his grandfather at 10 years old to competing on a national stage at 30, it's clear that plumbing runs in his veins. And last, from Front Royal, Virginia, Dave Shaner. He's made it to the plumbing finals 3 years running, but he's never taken home that top prize. Is this finally going to be his year? All in all, we are looking at more than 100 years of experience down on the floor. Let's take a look at the challenge that our competitors are about to face in the Pro Final Breakdown presented by SharkBite.
For this final, the competitors will be tasked with installing a half bathroom. They will be setting a toilet and installing a wall-hung sink with a faucet. They will map a route for the SharkBite PEX piping and Cero copper piping for the cold and hot water lines going from the half bathroom through the house to the appropriate shutoff valves, which are already in place. After everything else is tied in, competitors will conduct a pressure test on the system, charging the water lines with compressed air, just like you would with a bicycle tire, Joel. Once the system is pressurized, they will isolate their work at the SharkBite Max shutoff valve, and the judges will then watch the pressure hold steady for 10 full minutes. Our competitors will only have 90 minutes to complete this installation, which includes the 10-minute pressure test. They will then be judged on workmanship, accuracy, proper tool usage, and of course, as always, safety.
Scott, that is a lot to get done. Let's head back down onto the floor as Chip Wade hits flush on the clock and counts us in.
All right, fans, families, and friends, let's count them down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Start your plungers. The 2025 Plumbing National Championship is officially underway. Scott, where are we starting?
They're moving their toilets and sinks into the correct location, Joel. That is a 2-piece toilet. It's about 60 pounds assembled. They come in 2 separate boxes. Some competitors choose to take each individual item out of the box. Others drag the box over there. Personal preference, Joel.
Tim Quick unboxing his toilet and moving it into position. We first saw porcelain toilets in the late 1500s. The more modern toilet, late 1800s. That was the first single-piece ceramic toilet.
Carl Glenn taking a look for the first time at those mechanical drawings that have been given to these competitors to show them exactly where to put everything. Dave Shaner installing that all-important wax ring. Once he sets that toilet on top of that wax ring, it makes a great seal, preventing all of sewer gases from coming out of the city sewer. You don't want that in your home, Joel.
That wax ring is something that I don't think most people would recognize if they just saw the toilet in their own home. As we take a look at Evan Klein, the 30-year-old starting to assemble his toilet. How many pieces go into a toilet that you might not necessarily be aware of?
Obviously, under the lid where his right arm, there's a bunch of parts in there that control the water flow. This particular toilet's called a two-piece toilet. And remember, we also have the lid with seat.
Tim Quick is the elder statesman of this competition, 60 years old, and a finalist from a year ago. Ian Edelbacher is the newcomer, the young buck, 36, and still a plumbing apprentice, trying to hang with the big dogs here at this year's championship. We know this much, there will be a new champion crowned. The two-time defending champion Craig Childress is not here, so who's taking his throne? We'll find out as the 2025 Plumbing National Championship continues on CBS Sports Network.
The 2025 Plumbing National Championship on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Shark Bite. Nothing beats the shark.
Welcome back to the 2025 Plumbing National Championship here in West Palm Beach, where our professional final is underway. The tank itself here weighs about 30 pounds.
And of course, that's the water reservoir, which when you flush the toilet, rinses out the bowl and flushes it down the drain.
A look at Tim Quick, and there, Scott, is our first view of the vaunted toilet seat.
The biggest argument in every household in America, should it be up or down? Personally, I'm a down, neutral position kind of guy.
He just grabs the top of that tank, too, like it's nothing. I feel like that's the most delicate piece of equipment in any house.
Yeah, you don't want to break that for sure. That's going to make a mess.
What is this orange piece here with Carl Glenn?
That's a hold right outlet box. Basically, that orange cover protects the finish valve, which supplies water to the toilet later on.
Carl's operating in a small space here. The average American half bathroom is only about 3x6 or 4x5. As we see Dave Shaner starting to install his wall-hung sink. It's still early in the competition. If we check our Strauss status meter, it looks like Dave's already about 15% done with his job.
Tim Quick starting to assemble that faucet, Joel. There's a lot of pieces to that faucet. Some people do it upside down before they hang the sink. Looks like that's going to be his approach. I like that a lot. It gives you a lot more versatility when installing the faucet.
Tim is in his second year competing here in the finals. It's been an eventful 365 days for the Wisconsin native. Active in triathlons outside of the trade, Tim is competing today, he feels, by the grace of God.
I try to use my trade. It's a gift, and it's been something that God has given to me. That's why I'm here. My name is Tim Quick. I am from Williams Bay, Wisconsin. I have been in the plumbing trade 35 years and growing. This year, I'm even more so excited to be here. Last year, my best did not show up. I was severely dehydrated, losing my pencil, my focus. I couldn't concentrate on stuff. My shoe kept coming untied, and I was flustered. I didn't perform to the best of my abilities, as good of a plumber as I know I could be, so I wanted to try this year to come back and try it again. July 12th of this year, I was riding my bike in a triathlon. I had a heart attack and a sudden cardiac arrest. For 6 minutes, my heart stopped. If it weren't for the grace of God and an EMT riding behind me to jump off his bike and start my heart, I would not be here today. It's very emotional for me. At 60 years old, I'm not a kid anymore. It means the world to me.
Incredible story for Tim Quick, who got into the trades back after a stint in the U.S. Army. This has been a lifelong passion for the Wisconsinite.
Great shot of how many parts are in this competition. They need to stay organized or they're not going to bring it to the finish line.
And a great shot for Dave Shaner at how nice and clean this bathroom looks once everything gets installed.
That's as clean as this bathroom's ever going to look.
Meanwhile, back at Tim Quick, you talked earlier about working on the sink upside down. Here's a great example of that.
It is. It makes it a lot more accessible. He's still having a little bit of an issue getting these nuts on. Remember, the nerves are just driving you crazy right now, and he's doing his best. He's holding up that heavy sink. He's still going to screw that nut on.
Toilet is in place for Ian Edelbacher.
You can see him fastening those closet bolts. That's holding the toilet down on top of that wax ring.
Carl Glenn is pulling his toilet tank out of the box. Oftentimes, in these competitions, as part of the Service Titan Elite Trades Championship Series, the competitors can go in any order. But today, they have to install the toilets and the sink first, so there is a little bit of a line that must be followed.
That's right, Joel. The sink and the toilet are the destinations for the water lines, which are going to originate at the SharkBite ball valves that have been provided to them.
4 distinct tasks for our competitors to complete. 1 and 2, setting and installing the toilet and the sink. So now we're on to 3, and our first look at Cerro Copper here with Evan Klein.
This is the starting point for the water source. You can see hot on the left, cold on the right. There's a pressure gauge right there, which is going to be used later on to pressurize this whole system, Joel. This area could be located in a basement someplace or a mechanical room.
Not necessarily right next door to the bathroom.
Not necessarily, but it could be.
As Carl continues to work methodically installing that toilet. Evan here is our youngest competitor, just 30 years old. He has 20 years in the trade. And if you're trying to do the math at home, we'll let Evan do it for you.
Even though I'm young, I definitely know what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for a long time. My name is Evan Klein. I'm from Frederick, Maryland, and I've been in plumbing for 20 years. I got started in it working with my grandfather. He had his own plumbing company, so I just kind of went out and would be his helper, and I've stuck with it ever since. My grandfather would have been very happy and proud to see me make it that far. So I started my business in 2023. Been going really well over the last 2 years. Definitely this year's been the best one so far, is staying busy and getting clients and things like that. So, and I enjoy working, with the clients a lot. I'm used to, people standing over me and watching me work, so I'm just gonna, try and treat it like any other day and just focus on the task at hand. Winning this competition would be awesome. It's something that, anybody in the trade could dream about.
Evan's grandfather ran a one-man plumbing shop for 40 years. Evan now owns his own plumbing business. I'm sure his grandfather would be really proud to see what he's accomplished. Which of our competitors is surging and which is in hot water? We'll find out when the 2025 Plumbing National Championship returns. Welcome back to Florida and the Palm Beach County Convention Center. It is the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. We have the top 5 plumbers in the country competing to take home the national title. Making it to West Palm Beach is not a guarantee, though. Scott, just because you've qualified or even won in years past, it does not mean you have a spot in the competition locked up the following year. We see that with 2-time champion Craig Childress coming up short in qualification this year.
Joel, it was shocking to see Craig not qualify this year. But now is the time for the 5 best plumbers in the country to show us what they can do and why they deserve to be here.
There is no doubt all of these plumbers are great at what they do, but whoever overcomes the added pressure of competition will likely find themselves on top.
Ian working with a hold right strap here. Joel, basically it's replacing structure, replacing wood. If you need to mount something where there is no structure or wood, use one of those straps. Getting a look also at those ever so important schematics, where you have to put something, very important in judging.
Those schematics really important because this might not completely resemble an actual home install. The competitors are just going by what the schematic tells them. This is a competition.
Joel, that is a great point. National plumbing codes are different from all over the country. This is about following what is on that mechanical drawing, matching it exactly. That's how they're going to get the highest score.
Ian Edelbacher attaching the second of his 2 hold right brackets. And now Dave Shaner has our first look into the PEX piping. Red for hot water, blue for cold water, and these very unique fittings.
It's really cool. This is what I love about PEX, how fast it is. You can see he crimped that fitting so quickly, but it's all about prep right here. You can see he's making the depth. That's important.
That depth is really important because if you have the wrong depth marked on the PEX piping, what happens?
Then the connector could possibly blow off in the ceiling, and it's going to make a mess of the whole house.
Looks like Evan Klein has now joined the PEX party. This is the part of the competition that is going to take the most time.
It is. You have to be really calibrated into where you're going to put the pipes, how are you going to cut them, making sure you prep them correctly. It's all going to be judged at the end.
Dave Shaner looks like he's clipping along pretty quick.
You know, Joel, he missed the service valves. He was supposed to put a half-inch shutoff valve right there, and he missed it. That's going to cost him a lot of points.
And Dave is trying to make up for a couple of mistakes that cost him last year, knocking him off his 2023 second-place pedestal.
When I walk out on the competition floor, I just hope to do my best that I can and get everything done properly in a timely manner and hopefully win. My name's David Shaner. I've been a plumber for 30 years. I got into plumbing. My dad was a plumber also, so when I was like 12, 13, he'd start taking me to work with him, following him around, carrying his tools, helping him, and then just carried on everything, kept it going. In 2023, I came down for the Plumbing National Championships. I got second place, gave it another try this year. Last year, I forgot to put my safety glasses on, so it kind of messed me up. I was disappointed in myself, and then just kind of knew everything didn't count up to that point. Had a moment where it was just like, should I just give up or keep going? So I just kept on going. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as nervous as I was the past couple of years before. Kind of used to everything now. I'm very hopeful that this is my year to take the trophy home with me and win it this year.
Let's go, David! Woo! Come on!
Dave Shaner works for Crop Metcalf in Front Royal, Virginia. His day-to-day right now, more in the office. So this is a big competition because he wants to prove he's still got it. And with the two-time defending champion Craig Childress not in the competition, maybe there's a window of opportunity.
Joel, what I'm seeing right now is he still does have it. You know, I'm not sure why he's removing these ball valves. They came pre-installed, pre-pressure tested. I appreciate his perfection. I respect what he's doing, but he's wasting time. I think this is a perfect example where you have to draw that fine line between competitor and perfectionist.
Looks like Carl removed those ball valves to clean further that copper piping. And as you alluded to, he is somebody that views his work as art. He often photographs his clean, precise installs after the fact, but time is of the essence. 90 minutes with which to work and complete what is typically a 3/4 or half day's job. We saw Carl Glenn in this same area. Those are the ball valves that came pre-installed. There will have to be a pressure test at the end of this competition, so this is a critical juncture. We've chatted about Evan Klein already. This is a young man that has 20 years in the trade, going on job sites with his grandfather. Let's head down to Chip with Evan.
Evan, it's looking good. How's it going?
Good. So far, so good. Just taking it one piece at a time.
Well, you're making great progress. It looks like you got a lot of your PEX connections going. It's going quickly, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to get all that done and then work over to the fixtures.
Has anything slowed you down, or are you just cruising?
So far, I haven't really had any hiccups other than the one hanger. I didn't realize we had those hangers. So I changed that out quick. But no, everything so far, so good.
Cool, cool. Is this about what you expected it would be? This being your first time, give me your first reaction.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I know last year there was some water heater stuff. I was watching some videos, so I didn't know what we were going to be, up against, but I was ready for whatever he threw at us.
I love it. How are you liking all the tools and all the fittings?
They're awesome.
Everything good?
Everything's working out great.
Excellent. Well, it looks like you got your fixtures in place. You just got a couple of rough-in boxes to tie in, and you're done, huh?
Yep.
You're
pressure
cruising,
test.
man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good job, Evan.
I think that's a first in Service Titan Elite Trades Championship Series history. My man watched film before coming to the championship.
I do like it a lot. I like how he did his homework and some studying. Joel, just FYI, what he was referring to about the hanger, they've got 4 different types of pipe hangers to choose from. He's specifically speaking about those belt hangers going up the wall to hold that copper pipe. I'm glad he caught that mistake and he changed it out.
Now Ian has attached a valve to his hot water PEX. That's one of those emergency shutoffs?
This is one of the ball valves. Yes, there's 2 of them, and it shuts off the water going to the toilet and to the sink. This is what Dave had forgotten earlier in the competition. I'm glad to see Ian's remembered it.
Our plumbers are officially getting into the flow, trying to handle the heat. Who can stand the pressure, and whose chances are going down the drain? leak and destroy at the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. Welcome back to the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. Scott, we mentioned earlier in the program that this competition series is really all about celebrating people in the trades, not just because the work that they do is so vital to our everyday lives, but because the plumbing industry is facing increasing demand with a diminishing supply of skilled workers. So before we get back into the finals action, let's dive a little deeper into the state of the industry with support from our partners at Service Titan. Scott, you see the numbers, 500,000 plumbers across the U.S. right now. There's opportunity out there.
That's right, Joel. The older generation also is retiring. The jobs aren't going anywhere. We're always going to need skilled and talented technicians to go into people's homes and places of business and do the work. In the plumbing world, everything is an emergency. You don't have water, you don't have heat, you don't have toilet. It's a problem.
And if you're out there watching and you need a plumber right now, there are plenty available. 5 that are unavailable are these guys. Let's head back down onto the floor as our competition continues.
Dave's working in real tight spaces right behind that toilet there. That's the supply line going to the toilet, Joel. Cold water only, obviously. Ian also working on the supply lines going to the sink. You have cold and hot in this application. We're seeing here for the first time, Joel, that vertical white PVC pipe. That is the drain that was pre-installed for these plumbers to tie in the P-trap under the sink into.
Now that P-trap does what?
P-trap stops gas from coming from the main sewer lines in the city going into the sink.
Now we see Tim Quick still has the orange caps on those supply lines. Those will come off, like we saw with Ian as he continues to work.
Yes, and that's where the supply lines will come from, going into the bottom of the faucet, supplying hot and cold water to the sink.
Dave Shaner seems to have moved on to this same step as well, although he still needs to hang his brackets to attach the supply lines.
Yes, and remember, you can see him using the tape measure. They had really specific measurements to go by according to those mechanical drawings. They've got to get it right or they won't get the points, Joel.
And that is not leaking water coming from the sink. That's the stress of the moment. The sweat beating down off the forehead of Ian Edelbacher. This is a wall-hung sink, also known as a console sink, so you don't necessarily have a structure built around it underneath. It does make it a little bit easier to work with, doesn't it?
Yes, and I like what Evan's done here. He's removed the sink temporarily so that he can work with those fixture outlet boxes made by HoldRite. He's getting the sink out of his way. It's good. He's able to get this done effectively.
Carl seems to have affixed his PEX piping to the wall a little differently than everybody else.
Using bell hangers, which were designed for copper piping, using them on the PEX seems to be a good application. I think I might have done that too.
Does that play a little bit more into his artistry of this?
Maybe it does. Everything's off the wall, the same distance here. It does look kind of nice looking down the pipes there.
Now Ian is making quick work of attaching these supply lines. Pretty impressive work from Ian at this point. The least experienced competitor in this field. In fact, he's still an apprentice, making the move into plumbing after a career in agriculture and almond farming.
The other competitors I'm competing against better watch out because I'm hungry for that first place prize. My name is Ian Edelbacher. Currently, I'm in my 4th year of my plumbing apprenticeship, about 6 months until I graduate. And after that, I'll be a licensed journeyman. Before I was a plumber, I was farming almonds. Some crossover there with irrigation, water stuff, but not a lot of waste or drains and things like that. So different, but still working with your hands. My wife is here cheering me on, and my kids will be cheering me on from home. It'll be nice for my kids to see what I actually do. They hear about plumbing, but they don't actually know really what it is that I'm doing out there, so they'll actually get to see it for the first time. I'm excited to, show up for the apprentices. Sometimes we get the bad rap of making all the mistakes, so it'll be exciting to test my skill against these guys. Winning this competition for me would mean bragging rights with all the journeyman plumbers back home. It'd be great. The money would also be amazing, of course. Make me feel like I'm going down the right path as well.
Gonna have to get Ian an apprentice raise, although the Journeyman might get jealous back at Fresno Plumbing and Heating. It's a family affair, by the way. Ian's wife, who he met in elementary school, also works at Fresno Plumbing as an estimator.
Joel, he was just on the sink, putting the supply lines in. Now he's over at the toilet. He's doing a great job, moving right along here.
Same can be said for Carl Glenn. He's in the exact same spot.
Just using a different technique here, Joel. He's mounted that outlet box direct to the studs. It's preference. They needed to get it into an area that was close to the toilet.
And speaking of mechanical drawings, Evan Klein out of Frederick, Maryland, is really examining those. Everyone seems like they're kind of in the same area here. The PEX and the copper are installed, the toilet and the sink are set. Everyone is working on the supply lines. Let's check in with Chip.
Thanks, guys. Everything is looking so good. All the competitors are making great progress, and that's attributed to a lot of the connectors that they're using. All of these SharkBite fittings require no soldering and no torches, so it goes a lot faster. The challenge becomes not going too fast and making sure all the connections are made securely. Soon, they're going to be pressure testing their system, and we're going to find out if they did a great job.
Chip, thank you. Scott, we've not talked a lot about the pressure test. That still looms, and it requires a full 10 minutes, so time is of the essence.
It is, Joel, and once that pressure test starts, they're going to find out where those leaks are, if there are any.
The pressure test is happening in more ways than one down here in West Palm Beach. Do not go anywhere. The 2025 Plumbing National Championship flows on CBS Sports Network. We are back at the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. Our plumbers are sweating away in this 90-minute installation challenge. But Scott, that's not their only drip, because they have been outfitted in this top-of-the-line workwear from Strauss. Chip Wade caught up with Nadia Barletta from Strauss earlier in the competition to talk about their new partnership with the Service Titan Elite Trades Championship Series.
Nadia, it's so great talking to you. We're here checking out some of the Strauss product. You have outfitted all of the competitors here. You guys have been in the European market for years. Kind of new to the U.S., and this is your first year with the ETCS. Tell us a little bit about why you guys wanted to be here.
We're super excited to be here. It's our first year. The show just aligns so great with all the values that Strauss has, just supporting the trades, supporting the people that build our world. We are here to support them with full-on work gear, head to toe, to make it comfortable for them to really work and also compete.
So tell us a little bit more about what is so important about integrating with the trades. Why do you guys want to service this industry?
We are a part of the industry as workwear, right? We need you guys. We want to, of course, offer you something that you like and that you can wear for years. And we just want to elevate the whole craftsmanship.
Perfect. Well, German engineering has met comfort and style, and it's here available to us. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Thank you.
We had 4 overarching tasks for these competitors to complete. First was to set the toilet. Second, install the wall-hanging sink with faucet. Third, map out the PEX piping and copper piping. And then the fourth and final task is that full 10-minute pressure test. No one has yet gotten that far in the competition. We look at Evan working on his hot water connections. Walk me through the setup. Why the right angles? Why not a straight line?
Joel, you can see the versatility here of PEX, being able to change direction effortlessly.
Dave Shanner a little bit further behind on his water connections, but same general area. Let's send it down to Chip with him.
Dave, looks like you're moving with confidence. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm starting to get a little wore out. It's hot.
Yep, absolutely. Well, you got all your gear on. Now, you're a veteran. I mean, 3rd year as a competitor in this competition. How is this year shaping up to previous years?
It's definitely, they got a little bit more advanced stuff. We're doing a little bit more for roughing in the fixtures and putting in valves and everything this time. Before it was just pretty much a water heater and running pipe, so it's a little more advanced.
What's your confidence level on coming out on top, 1 to 10?
I will go 7 or 8.
7 or 8?
Yeah.
All right, I like your style. Well, you're looking good. It looks like you're almost done. What's left to complete before you pressurize?
I got to hook up the faucet, the drain, supply lines. Well, that's pretty much it.
What have you learned specifically, over in previous years that's kind of come into play this year?
Really to ignore the cameras and you as much as I can.
I'm making it hard, aren't I? Excellent. Well, keep your head down. You look like you're doing a great job at that.
Thank you.
All right, Dave. Thanks.
Have a good one. Uh-oh. Well, this might get tricky.
Carl, Carl, Carl.
That is Carl Glenn's wife. And Scott, you were talking about being able to foresee certain issues or design elements as you continue working through this project. Carl Glenn is one of those people that sees all of that when he gets into a job.
I take great pride in my work, but it doesn't always get recognized, and so something like this is good to feel recognized. My name is Carl Glenn. I'm a professional plumber from Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in the trades for 14 years. When I'm not working, I am spending time with my family. Me and my wife have been together 8 years now. We just bought a house last year. We got the 4 13-year-olds between us, and they keep us really busy. Anything I do, I take great pride in it, and a lot of it's going to be hidden either behind walls or underground or above the ceiling, and I preach that to my apprentices all the time. And then when it gets done, it looks like artwork. Winning this competition would mean a lot. I'm hoping I can just kind of zone in on the task at hand and focus and block everything else out. The prize money is money. Money comes and goes, but that recognition of being the best plumber, that definitely sticks around.
Carl being such a detail-oriented person, I'm a little surprised here. What I just noticed is that if you're facing the sink, the hut is supposed to be on the left. You can clearly see the hut is on the right-hand side. That's going to be a problem. It's going to cost him some points, Joel.
We'll see if Carl catches that, because we are coming down the wire. One of our plumbers will walk away with a national title and a $10,000 check when the 2025 Plumbing National Championship flows on. Welcome back to West Palm Beach. We are in the final moments of the 2025 Plumbing National Championship, and David Shaner is our first competitor onto this fourth and final task. It's the pressure test. Scott, what is it?
Well, we could use water. It's a lot messier, but we're using pressurized air. It mimics the same amount of pressure that a house has, about 60 psi. If there's a leak, you're going to hear it. Now with water, it would go everywhere, and it's a lot more difficult to fix.
Evan is also onto that pressure test, it looks like. If you're curious, for perspective, what does 60 psi feel like? That is the equivalent of an elephant standing on a coaster. All of an elephant's weight on a coaster, that's what this piping has to stand up against.
You could see Evan's gauge at 60 psi. That's perfect. That has to hold for the full 10 minutes. The judges are really going to be looking at that gauge.
Well, speaking of 10 minutes, we are coming up on 10 minutes. If you have not started your pressure test now, you're not getting those points. And Tim Quick is scurrying to finish as much as he can as quickly as possible. All right, Scott, so it looks like what we have here is our contestants have pressurized their systems at a certain point, and then they're able to still work on connecting the sinks while the rest of the piping is going on with the pressure testing.
Right, as long as they have the angle stops to the sink and the toilet in the off position, they're only required to pressurize what they installed for piping.
So the pressure test's going to work for several of our competitors, and now finishing off one of those earlier tasks, that full sink installation. That's actually pretty smart. Get the important stuff done, and then tie up your loose ends. We've spoken many times about the pressure of competition. How about having a judge over your shoulder like a hawk? We might miss a couple things up here in the booth. Our judges will miss nothing.
Evan working on that finish. The chrome P-trap, first time we've seen it. This is all finished work. Obviously, you wouldn't do it in a roughing installation at this point. The drywall and the plaster and maybe the wallpaper and paint would be up at this point. But for the competition, they were asked to do it. Tim Quick working on that drain below the sink, Joel. That is the P-trap going into the PVC drain, which will tie into that sanitary tee coming out of the wall that's already been installed. It's, of course, where all the water drains into the city sewer. There's some alignment that needs to be done and thought about ahead of time. However, the P-trap is adjustable, gives you a little bit of flexibility left and right, and up and down, too.
Dave Shaner with his family cheering him on. Third-time competitor, one-time runner-up. Could this be his year? We've got about 3 minutes left in the competition, and Dave Shaner trying to get that sink underbody constructed.
Overall, Joel, looks like a great installation. Carl's got some catch up to do, though. He's a little further behind.
You really see the diversity of these competitors, working with large amounts of piping and then having the dexterity to come into a real small space and work with tiny fittings. Time continuing to leak down, and the question is, will anybody finish? It looks like, Scott, the answer is yes. 2 minutes left to go. Ian Edelbacher across the finish line. The newcomer gets the job done. Chip Wade, go catch up with our first finisher.
Ian,
Yeah,
you did it.
I did it, I guess. Got it finished.
So being one of the most novice plumbers here, you were able to finish first. What do you attribute that to?
Me doing all the work as an apprentice, you know. The journeymen always like to throw the apprentice out there to do the work.
So you can start throwing a little shade because you finished earlier. I like to see, I like your style.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you did? You think everything's gonna hold?
Yeah, it looks like it's holding. Pressure's holding. So I see a few things I might have liked to straighten out a little bit, but running low on time, I went ahead and just called it.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The pressure is certainly holding for the rest of our competitors. The apprentice gets across the finish line first. Who will be second? It could be the wily vet. Yes, Tim Quick, our eldest competitor, is our second fastest. He clocks out with under a minute left to go. And time now winding down on our 3 remaining competitors. Your finish time is a factor in the event of a tie. It's not the ultimate deal breaker. It's all about workmanship. But how much work you get done in your 90-minute window is absolutely critical. 24 seconds for Carl Glenn. David Shaner, a second-place finisher before, trying to get on top of the mountain. Seconds left to go as our competitors are putting the final pieces into place. Let's take it to Chip to count us down.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Great job, everybody. Nice work.
Plungers down. Competition is over. It's time now, Scott, for the judges to do their part. What is their part? What are they looking for?
Joel, they're looking for workmanship. How does the overall project look? The deviation from plans is a big deal. They all have mechanical drawings in front of them. They need to follow those plans. Of course, the 2 things that we always look for here, proper tool usage and safety. And the most important thing, all this work they do is no good if that pressure test fails. You got to make sure that holds.
Scott, a lot for the judges to take a look at here. They're going to do all their work, and when we come back, we'll see the results. We'll have the scores, and we'll know who's walking away with a $10,000 check and that coveted title of Best Plumber in America. That's when the 2025 Plumbing National Championship returns.
The 2025 Plumbing National Championship on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Service Titan, empowering those who power the nation.
Welcome back to West Palm Beach, home of the 2025 Plumbing National Championship, where we've got the 5 best plumbers in America battling it out for a $10,000 check and that coveted title, Scott, of National Champion. Now, if you're out there watching and you or someone you know is a tradesperson, I know a tradesperson, and they want to prove themselves in this ultimate skills competition, or if they're just interested in learning about the trades, then follow on social media or check us out online at elitetrades.global. You can stay informed on all things Service Titan Elite Trades Championship Series, like how to qualify to compete and where we'll be heading for the finals in 2026. Back in the arena here at the 2025 Plumbing National Championship, where the work is done, the judges are doing their thing. Let's take a look at our final competition recap, brought to you by Rector Seal. These competitors were tasked with installing a half bathroom. That included setting a toilet and installing a wall-hung sink with a faucet. They then had to complete the water lines with Cero-Copper piping and SharkBite shutoff valves. All of that needed to be done within 90 minutes, including running a 10-minute mandatory pressure test on the entire system. David Shaner got out to a hot start. He was the first person to start working with the copper and PEX piping, but lost some steam as the competition progressed. Safety wasn't a problem for him this year, but he did forget to install a couple shutoff valves. Although he didn't finish, Shaner kept competing to the final second. Newcomer Ian Edelbacher didn't appear phased at all. He has only 4 years of experience under his belt, but everything he's learned from his apprenticeship program looked like it was top of mind and fresh, and seemed like it helped him down the stretch. Evan Klein, also new to the competition, worked down to the wire. He got through his pressure test without a leak and for the full 10 minutes, but was still working through his P-trap install when time ran out. Tim Quick and Carl Glenn both worked with pace and showcased their respective experience in the trade. They both ran into some small problems, but fought through. Tim Quick clocked out with less than a minute left, although Carl came up just short. Time, though, was only one factor. No one can be counted out yet. Any of these plumbers could come away champion. The judges have the final say.
Well, Joel, someone's walking out of here with $10,000 and a national title. It looks like it's time to find out.
The results are in. Let's head down to Chip to announce our winner.
After an intense 90-minute competition, the Plumbing National Championship has come to a close. There's somebody that's taking home some checks and the title of champion. Y'all ready to hear the results? Taking home $3,000 in third place from Frederick, Maryland, Evan Klein.
First competition for the 30-year-old with 20 years of experience. That all paid off big time.
Joel, that's great. The first thing I think about is how proud his grandfather would be.
All right, in second place, taking home $7,000. Let's give it up from Front Royal, Virginia, David Shaner.
Big redemption for David Shaner after not placing a year ago. That is his second runner-up title here at this competition.
I like his style. He stuck with it. He didn't let the cameras distract him. He stuck it out right to the end.
Just 3 competitors remain. First place, taking home $10,000. From Madera, California, Ian Edelbacher.
The Plumber's Apprentice captures the crown.
This is a great example. 4 years in the trade. License or not, it's a piece of paper. How valuable it is, he still won. What an amazing competitor he is.
Thank you. Ian Edelbacher is the second ever Plumbing National Champion.
What a beautiful trophy that is. I'd like to have that on my bookshelf.
Let's go down to Chip.
Ian, coming in hot, 4 years in the industry. You came to the national competition. You're taking home the trophy as champion. How do you feel?
I feel great, you know, taking home bragging rights for sure.
I love it. Well, you clearly have what it takes. What do you think prepared you the most to be the champion?
All the great plumbers at Fresno Plumbing taking time to teach me something, you know. Never stop learning. Shout out to all those great plumbers that took the time out of their day to teach me something new.
To make all this happen, clearly we had to have some great sponsors.
Shout out to Service Titan and SharkBite. This is a great event. Celebrate the regular man.
Congratulations, Ian. Enjoy the win. Go spend some time with your family, and hopefully you'll be back next year.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Incredible for Ian Edelbacher. The apprentice comes to the big stage and wins. Scott, that's what this competition is all about. It's the mentors helping create the next generation of tradesmen and women.
Coming from somebody that's taught a lot of apprentices over the years, seen them get their licenses, it's good to see him so enthusiastic and praising those who did teach him the trade.
It's been an incredible night of competition here at the 2025 Plumbing National Championship. Scott, you might even say it's been a royal flush, but unfortunately, our time together has come to a close. So for Scott Caron and Chip Wade, the rest of our crew, my name is Joel Godet saying thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.